Hello again. Right, this video is me just going through a couple of things which I wanted to talk about. What's that? Well, you can't see it anyway. It's a blue bottle fly, dead one. A couple of things. The blue bottle fly actually has a really blue shimmer on it, and I should have kept that. I don't know where it's gone now. Pixie's used that for in their jewellery. Now, oh yes, so I wanted to talk about a couple of things. First of all, the fact that there's a video coming this week, so that's obviously there's one now, but I mean, like, you know, there's a more interesting one than this one's going to be, because I'm really just explaining a couple of things. I'll keep it brief. So Tom came up with this AskErwin idea with the thing that he put on the hashtag thing for people to write up questions. So I haven't done any yet, so I've scribbled some down. Humble bee, is it fun? Is it fun? How long have I been doing this? Is it fun? I don't do it for fun. I don't do it for fun. I do like making the it's been more fun since I started on YouTube, but I've been doing this about 35 years, so it's you do get used to it. It's not I wouldn't say it's just every day I'm thinking, yeah, hey, let's go out. There's other things that I'm doing when I'm out, you see, that there's another purpose to what I'm doing. So again, I don't want to go into too much detail, but yes, it can be fun. I'm sorry, I can't read my own writing. Are there any in North America? I'm sure there are, yes. I haven't actually travelled and looked in North America. So Sander asks, sorry about if I've got the names wrong. Trolls. Can you find trolls? Are there trolls? Well, I've got a picture in here of a sort of, you know, again, the categories that you'd find in folklore, which are, you know, goblins and trolls and things like this, aren't the lines are a lot more blurred. They are the result of people categorising this through oral tradition and calling them certain names. If you look up any, you know, illustrations from the past, they all vary enormously, because there's not really, you know, through folklore, a proper categorisation of any of these creatures. But a rock troll, say, this was I've never got close to one, but this was a drawing of a rock troll. He looks a lot bigger than he actually is on this drawing. They're probably about, I mean, they're larger than pixies. They're probably actually, I need to check I'm in frame. Let me just right, where was I up to? I showed that. Well, yes, so trolls. So I tend to name things by tribes or area, and then I normally give it a Latin name. There are some names also which have been given by the ethereologists, which are the 19th century ethereologists, but we try and take more of a controlled approach. So yes, you could categorise that as a troll. Carmen is niche which tin? No, I don't know. That's not right. How many around the forest come close? You do get them coming close normally when you're not looking, and then they'll certain types of pixies are very they'll steal things. So if you've got food or anything shiny or interesting, they'll come and take it, but they won't. They'll try and do it when you're not watching. So if I was around here doing something and I had a bag open over there, it's quite possible they would come in. They're very good at being quiet, so they'll come close. But if you did, you know, they're not like a cat. If you went up to it and sort of said, "Oh, come on," they're not going to do that. They're not stupid. Thanks for. Oh, then just thanks for making the video. So that's all right. Frank Castle. Do you think there are pixies in woods in Austria? Australia? I don't know quite what that is. Yes. I'd imagine so, yes. I don't know about Australia. I wouldn't have but certainly in Europe there's a, you know, anywhere there is folklore, there's what am I trying to say? Where there's smoke, there's fire. So even though I don't think folklore is particularly accurate, it's like in the past there were legends of sea monsters and kraken and things like that, and then we know nowadays they're probably based on giant squid. So folklore is normally trying to describe something, but it's not necessarily, the stories around them have got elaborated. So, there's the stories of changelings and fairy folk coming and stealing a human child and swapping it with a fairy child. And some people have theorised that, that's to do with that legend has come from children which are born deformed. And their explanation in the past was that fairies had come and taken them away and because they didn't want to accept the fact that they'd had a deformed child. Now, obviously, we know that that's not correct, but these type of things have been associated through folklore with fairies, and things like that aren't. That's not what happens. That's not how it works at all. But it makes me very sad that. Right. Would I do a book? Yes, I have thought about doing a book recently because, I haven't in the past because nobody would have bought it, because nobody knew who I was. But obviously because now I'm on YouTube, there's no point making a book if nobody's going to buy the book. So if anybody's going to buy the book, then yes. All of that, I have been thinking that these illustrations that I'm doing now and selling could be made as part of I haven't really explained a lot about what these pictures are of, but that would be if they'd be elaborated upon in the book. So also, the other thing is that I've actually been approached a couple of times by television to do this as a television show following me around. The problem with that is that it starts out like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Obviously, it would be useful in terms of getting some funding and stuff for my work. The problem with it is that they always want to have too many people coming along and a big team following me around. Yeah, I don't know how much to say about it, but it is a possibility. But they need to. We need to get all on the same page, because I can't go around with a big crew. And I said to them, because another thing is that they didn't want Tom in. They didn't want to have Tom. They wanted their own camera people, and they wanted 3 camera people. And I said, well, you can have 1 camera have 1 camera person maximum. And I said, I want Tom. And then they said, well, no, we need. They had their own documentary wildlife cameraman person, and he needed. He wanted 3 people with him. And then there was another production. It ended up 10 people following me around, and I said, well, no, we need maximum of. Because they wanted a presenter, a camera person. He had 2 other sort of secondary camera people, but they wanted 3 actually. And then there's all the other production. It worked out about 10 people, and I said, no, you can have a presenter and a camera person, and myself, and they didn't want Tom for the anyways. So yes, I'd do a book. I'd do whatever. I don't. Do you think Pixie is endemic to the UK? No, I sort of covered that. Do they have names? Yes, they do. Well, obviously they have names that I give them, which I normally try and base it on the Latin, because some of the ethereologists gave them names based on their own names. There was the Richard Pomeroy, who was one of them, called, I think he only found one tribe, and he called them the Pomeranian tribe, which is ridiculous. And if he'd have found another one, he couldn't call that after his own name, and I think that's very vain. I think it's much better to try and sort of follow the process of animal naming and do it through based on Latin. So, another one there about a book. Do the worms have their underground? Do they guard their underground space? Well, they'd have a, I mean, like any underground creature, they'll have a burrow and they'll guard that. They wouldn't be guarding some, you know, it's not like the Hobbit and they'll be guarding gold and things. Unfortunately, that would be interesting. Worms aren't interested. Worms are animals, really, so they're not going to be doing anything like that. Do they like music? They make. They do like music, insofar, not probably what we would describe as music, but they make. You know, they'll find, you know, woods. You know, they'll find logs like this which make a loud sound, and they'll clack it with stones on it, and they can get quite resonant tones. They'll also carve little wooden whistles and put them up in the trees. I was with Tom actually one time, and we heard all of this whistling from the treetops, and we should try and find this, go back to the place. They had an ingenious device where there was wind blowing through it and making wind sounds, and depending on the angle of the wind it would blow different you know, different whistles, and they can tell the direction of where the wind's going just from the sound. How did I learn to draw? Anybody can learn to draw. Just do it a lot. You just get better as you do, if you do something, which leads me on to. So that's that rock troll. This is on Big Cartel. That's a Lino-Cut print. I've still got some of those available. I'm going to be doing another print soon. This chap's on eBay at the moment. In fact, these might all be on eBay by the time this video comes out. So that's a talon headdress. That's you know, bird claws. That species is a lot smaller than that. I'm going to whip through these pretty quick. A lot smaller than he looks. Different type of Pixie. So I've got. Let's just go through these. That's a sort of different type of berry stick for picking berries. It's not a weapon. It looks like one. It's sharp on the end, but that's a backpack holding. There's no backpack there at the moment, but that's another headdress there. Yeah, so I've got these. That's a ceremonial costume. That took quite a long time, that one. Went into detail on that. I've just sold a ceremonial costume drawing recently, but that's another one there. Another headdress. That's actually from a 19th century illustration from one of the ethereologists. Scottish creature, I can't remember the name of it, but I've never seen that. The goat legs, could be an exaggeration, but it is from a trustworthy source. Another Pixie there, and then that's a drawing of me. Probably won't sell that, but that's Tom asked me to do one of myself. So that's what that was all about. So I'm selling these to make, you know, to fund myself at the moment. Obviously, if the book happens and I make a fortune, or the television show or something like that, then I probably won't need to carry on doing these. But I do rather enjoy them. I haven't drawn for a while. But also, I was thinking of making a separate channel where I draw these, you know, related to the channel, but just not have it on the main one, where it's more, while I'm doing these, I might as well just film myself and talk about what it is that I'm, you know, the species that I'm drawing. So that's something that I'll probably do it at some point. Well, no, in fact, I'll do it imminently, because I need to make more videos, because the way YouTube works, it doesn't really, if you don't constantly bring out new videos, it's sort of, the views go down, and then if you're trying to make you know, use it to help fund yourself, it's, but I don't just want to dilute the main channel with videos that not everybody's interested in. So if you are interested in watching me draw pictures, then by all means, you know, you can tune into that, and I'll be very grateful for that. I think that's it really. It's a nice day. I'm going to walk back across the field there, the sunflower field, and then head back to the van. Right, so cheerio. Let's get this packed up. Right.